What is this child's disability?
Right.
What they're capable of and what they're not capable of.
They don't send them perhaps in the right sections.
Right.
The whole point is the teacher has to know everything about everybody
They
at all
don't.
times.
Some of them
And
don't.
they don't.
Right.
So you can't knock the teacher for what they kind of don't know, because they just don't know and they need help as well.
There are things that they need to do with attendance. There are things they need to do with student achievement, with data, that I have to train them. I need time to train them. And so we're working on that now, trying to what next year will look like so that we can try to give them more opportunities to learn.
So the parent, as a parent, needs a little help from the teacher needs a little help from the parent. If you don't talk about it, you'll never get anything done.
I think it is important to develop teachers. I mean, literally, you speaking in my day too. When at 6:30 in the morning, I text the union president and say, we need to have some conversations because I got to find a way to give my teachers more PD. They are not ready for what we're asking them to do.
Principal, do whatever you got to do, because I can't have this one back in my room. But it's no offense to the parent, not even to the child for real, but it's my sanity, my safety, and the safety of the rest of these kids. So you have to think about those things. Everybody needs a little bit of help.
The parents don't have the tools, the teachers don't have the tools, and yet here we are trying to interact together and we're clashing.
We're trying to figure out as teachers, how can I motivate them?
Yeah.
How can I get them to do this? It looks like nothing works with them, but had I known that Mary lost her mom, had I known that Mary did this in the beginning, I could have come about it at a different perspective.
So I'm trying to pull all that out and make sure that when we impose things on the school district, it's not going to just, oh, this is the problem. Oh, there's varying degrees to things, and we have to have a very measured approach. I think that's one of the problems when we try to fix things too fast. We don't take account of everything.
I was a trouble kid, yeah, and that's only because everything starts at home. So if my mom don't care about me, and these teachers are sitting up here and they're talking about, oh, well, you can do this and you can do that, but I'm only, hearing it at school, that's something that I'm struggling with, because if my mom don't believe in me or my dad don't believe in me, I don't believe y'all believe in me. You never know if this kid is, coming to school after getting beat up or after getting verbally abused. Mentors, they really work. Correct me if I'm wrong, you said that most behaviors can't be helped. That's not true. All behaviors can be helped.
Right.
You just gotta learn, and you gotta know how to, help those behaviors.
Like now, teachers just like whatever. And I see it stuff every day. They just like whatever, send them home.
The state really needs to start investing wholeheartedly in the public system rather than farming out the public system. So this House Bill 70 is just part of the privatization movement. It's a part of the movement to take education away from the elected Board of Education and thus away from the community. And that is totally wrong-headed.
Joining us now is Henry Pettiegrew. He is the CEO of East Cleveland Schools by way of House Bill 70 from 2015. Welcome to the show, Henry Pettiegrew.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
We're talking about all of this today because there's a general agreement that the idea of the state taking over a local school district to improve the district and help it achieve isn't really working in Ohio. From where you sit in East Cleveland running those schools, what are your thoughts?
I believe that House Bill 70 is a big concept, state takeover. Those are large ideas. In our local context in East Cleveland, I've been here for about 30 days, and I've been doing a listening tour, going around talking to my constituents. I've gone to nursing homes. I've gone to City Hall. I've spoken at City Council, at parent meetings. I've spoken to my students, my staff, my administrators about what this means. Yeah, it's a big thing that happens in a school district, and you don't want it to happen. But now that it has happened in East Cleveland, my role is to repair, to make it more efficient, and to help with the systems. When I came into this district, I noticed there were a number of things that highly effective school districts, even in Ohio, are doing that are not present in this school district. So some of the opportunities that are because of this process would be to help us make ourselves more modern, efficient, more efficient. I'm losing kids because of enrollment. For every kid that comes into our district, 2 more leave out. So these are some patterns that I have to disrupt, and I don't believe they would have disrupted unless this process took place. So it is a blessing for the folks in East Cleveland and myself. This is my district. I believe that I want to be an effective administrator here. And my goal is simple, is to rectify the problems, get us good performance on our student outcomes, and then return this district back to the local controlled school board. I do believe in public education. I do believe in the locally elected school board. My role is to solve problems, disrupt some processes that have been negatively impacting our children, and then return it back to the local school board so that they continue to work.
Why do you think, what's your understanding about why this process has not succeeded in Youngstown and in Lorain?
My reasoning is, as I saw those implementations, I chose to do an implementation that was slightly different. I'm coming into East Cleveland. I'm trying to be a unifier. There are some great people in this district. The processes were just bad. So rather than me looking at the people or really trying to begin to push in initiatives, even from a national model or region or a state model, I'm going to organically create strategies, and we're doing that in our section. This is our second 30 days of this cycle. We're starting to action plan, strategize, but that's just not me doing it or a group of people coming from outside. I'm working with the people inside the school district and the community. I think it's a slightly different take on this approach. I want to be an effective administrator of this school district, whether you call it a CEO or a superintendent. They need someone at the helm that's the moral and intellectual leader, and that is what I'm trying to do here. So it may look a little different.
Critics of the process say that it takes control out of local hands, and that that's wrong. That if people are paying for it, and if you want to go to the voters and ask for levies and that kind of a thing, they ought to be locally controlled as well. And so far, it seems like number one, they're not succeeding in those other districts, and number two, it's not clear how they'll ever return power to the locals.
Okay. And I work with my local school board. We were at our school board meeting last night. We got some good work done, and we showed the community that we can work together. It's not about taking power. My board and I are working collaboratively to try to understand how do we move forward. It's not an adversarial process. We speak regularly because they are integral to the process. So in my district in East Cleveland City Schools, it's not about taking power from people. It's about how do we work collectively to move forward because that's what the public school needs. And
Bill Phillips, what about that? It's a lot of people have said it's about poverty. It's not about who runs the district. It's about how you pay for it. So it sounds like, Henry Pettiegrew is trying a different approach.
Well, it seems that from listening to Mr. Pettiegrew, it seems that he would be a successful administrator in any school district. The problem is that and throughout the country, when a school district is taken over by state decree, the administrator operates as a lone ranger, operates separate and apart of the Board of Education.
He's saying he doesn't want to do that.
And his experience might be different in East Cleveland, but certainly as we look to Lorain and Youngstown, the scenario has been totally 180 degrees from that perspective.
Okay. Well, I want to say thanks to Henry Pettiegrew. I appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you very much. Glad to talk to you. Happy to do it.
Thank you. Henry Pettiegrew, he's CEO of East Cleveland Schools, which were taken over by the state. He was appointed to run it. They call it a CEO. It's kind of the same thing as a superintendent. Also, I want to thank Bill Phillips, Executive Director of the Ohio Coalition for Equity and Adequacy of School Funding, and a member of the Public Education Partners. That's a group that's working to end state takeovers of school districts. Bill Phillips, thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you very much.
And thanks to everybody for listening. This is All Sides with Ann Fisher on 89.7 NPR News.